Welcome back, Truth Seeker. In the headlines today, Monday, August 7th, Trump defamation suit against E. Jean Carroll tossed out. And recall, he filed this June 27th, a little more than a month after essentially being found guilty by the judge of sexually assaulting E. G. Carroll. And if you recall, this story took off in 2019, the year that E. Jean Carroll published her memoir, where she talks about Trump, who sexually assaulted her during the time he was president of the United States. The news broke many years after the fact in the story she tells. But today, this news comes, August 7th. That's a big news story. It broke at about the same time, almost the exact same time, that the news broke about William Friedkin, the Exorcist and French Connection director. And the funny thing about the media emphasizing the Exorcist and the French Connection, again, it's really straightforward if you know who's writing the headlines. The Exorcist is filmed at Georgetown. Georgetown's the Jesuit stronghold in old America, and that's why the first Jesuit university is in Georgetown, the Georgetown HOYAS. The Exorcist is filmed there. And again, Georgetown's the first Jesuit university. The Jesuits were created in France with Ignatius of Loyola. So the French Connection, the Exorcist. Now, the founder of Georgetown is John Carroll. And again, this news broke at the time of the story that's good for E. Jean Carroll. E. Jean Carroll, John Carroll, founder of Georgetown. Now, something I always talk about with Georgetown is why John Carroll founded the university in 1789 on January 23rd, the year George Washington became the first recognized president of the U.S., George Washington, Georgetown. But 1789, when John Carroll was 54 years old. Just the other day, we covered the headlines, at the end of June actually, we covered the headlines about Anthony Fauci joining Georgetown, and they had to point out in the article about him joining that, from their own page, after dedicating 54 years of his life to public service, Dr. Anthony Fauci has chosen Georgetown University to play a major role in the next phase of his career. 54 years. John Carroll established Georgetown at age 54. What makes it more interesting? Again, gematria and understanding the meaning of the number 54 in relation to things like the Jesuits and John Carroll and the first Jesuit University, Georgetown. So notice, we'll come back and go over some of these other other words and numbers on the screen. John Carroll, born January 8th, 1735. Georgetown, founded January 23rd, 1789. He was 54 years old and 15 days after his birthday when it was established. And notice how his name in gematria, again, the practice of coding numbers into words, clearly very well known by the Jesuits, and very clear that they synced up the calendar and the language. But anyhow, John, again, 16th century, if you're new here, look it up. Jesuit order, this calendar we're on, named after a pope. The English language, as we use it today, 26 letters with the agreed to spellings. So in gematria, John Carroll equals 54 like Jesuit order. That's using the alphabetic order in numerology. If you just use the alphabetic order without numerology, the word sun. Again, the Jesuit logo is the sun, Catholic Church, sun cult, sun. S is the 19th letter, use the 21st, ends the 14th, sun equals 54. And I'm making this point because Jesuit-educated Donald Trump, from his June 14th birthday to today's line about E. Jean Carroll getting the better of him in court, 54 days later. Trump, Jesuit-educated Fordham. John Carroll, 54. E. Jean Carroll, 54 days after his birthday. Rituals with the sun. This calendar synced up with the sun. We're in the time of Leo, the lion. The lion's the sun. We know what just happened to Simba of the Lion King, dying at 47 when Obama, who joked at the White House Correspondents' Dinner that he was Simba of the Lion King, with Trump in attendance, again, many years ago, over 10 years ago now. But we know that Obama made that joke. Obama took office at 47. Then the day after Obama's birthday, the news breaks that Simba's dead at age 47. And as we know, president, White House, government authority, and even names like Trump equal 47. But anyway, how perfect. How perfect. And if you're new here, Gematria, alphabetic order with numerology, also running the alphabetic order in reverse, running it in reverse with numerology. Jesuit order, 144th, the alphabetic order, 54th numerology. We talked about how Trump was found guilty for the E. Jean Carroll sexual harassment. And that was on the Pope's 144th day of his age, the first Jesuit Pope. And again, when Trump went to the Vatican, May 24th, 2017, that was on the 144th day of the year. Jesuit-educated Trump posing with the Jesuit Pope on the 144th day of the year. And again, you have the Kennedys, JFK assassinated 144 days from meeting with the Pope. You have Bobby Kennedy dead at 1:44 a.m. You have his son, RFK Jr., announcing officially his run for president 144 days after the Jesuit Superior General's birthday, all part of this upcoming election cycle. With all these little Jesuit rituals going on, the same ones that Abraham Lincoln said were responsible for the American Civil War. And again, Lincoln shot on 14/4. Remember, Elon Musk made his bid for Twitter on April 14th, and we're talking about what a little Jesuit puppet he is, just like the rest of the world of big tech. And he offered $54 per share on 14/4. And now he's changed the company name to X, which is the 24th letter. They officially rebranded July 24th. And then they got a 24-letter complaint, supposedly. 24 different people complained about the X on the building, so they took it down. But in Sumerian gematria, which is multiplying the alphabetic order times 6, so A is 6, B is 12, C is 18, D is 24. X, the 24th letter, 24 times 6, X becomes 144. And again, you have Trump with his social media platform. You have Elon Musk, and certain thoughts in American culture and politics and beliefs is that these two men are fighting the cabal and using their wealth to try and help America. And a lot of people are falling into their pocket. And that's not at all what's going on. Just got to follow the code and see what's really going on. But yeah, think about it. Clear tribute to, the name Carroll and how really it's thought of in circles in America. Again, this is a powerful Jesuit family dating back to Georgetown. And literally, as the news is breaking, you're getting the death of 87-year-old William Friedkin, who directed The Exorcist on 8/7. So let's bring that part together too, where it fits in with the William Friedkin story, where also 87 fits in with this story. Again, gematria is the practice of coding numbers into words, and it can be used in accordance with dates, time, dates, numbers. Today, August 7th in the U.S., we write it 8/7, like 87. The word justice is 87. Ruth Bader Ginsburg in the big Jesuit ritual at age 87. Today can also be written 7/8, like 78. This is another storyline for the upcoming election. Trump will turn 78 years old before the election. Cleveland equals 78. He had his winning convention in Cleveland in 2016. Cleveland shares the name with Grover Cleveland, the only president to have a split term. Trump could become the second. And again, Jesuit also 78, these Jesuit rituals. Okay, so we covered John Carroll, the 54s, the 144s. We covered that. Now notice the name of the judge here. Lewis Kaplan is the judge who had the order today, tossing out Trump's countersuit against E. Jean Carroll. Notice how number of the beast has the gematria of 174, like Lewis Kaplan. Number of the beast also has the gematria of 87, like today's date, like justice is 87. And number of the beast is also 66, like Lewis Kaplan. And the original accusation, I covered it on June 21st, 2019. That was the day this story first broke after her memoir, where she accused Trump of sexual assault. Again, this is from June 21st, 2019 right here. E. Jean Carroll has Ask E. Jean, which equals 66 as well. June 21st, 2019, the day the news broke, had 66 date numerology. So the point I'm making is number of the beast was there in the beginning. And now on this climax in the story, it's 8-7. And we've talked about where these numbers come together many a times. Many a times. And New Testament, also 42 and 66. Again, the number of the beast is taught about in the 66th book of the Bible, the New Testament, which begins with the 42 generations to Jesus. Words like math equal 42 and 66. New Testament begins with Matthew. The day the E. Jean Carroll story broke, June 21st, could also be written 21/6, 216, 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. Trump had his convention in Cleveland, the 216 area code. Remember, Trump's GOP convention, it began July 18th, 18/7, 187 days from Inauguration Day. The day he countersued was the day leaving 187 days left in the year. Again, just Jesuit numbers. Society of Jesus, 187, their formal title, like Holy Roman Empire, like Washington, D.C., like George Washington. And again, coming back to the number of the beast. Where does number of the beast and beast meet? Look at this. The name Trump has gematria of 47, 25, 88. Tomorrow, 8/8, will be the anniversary of the Mar-a-Lago raid. But beast is also 47 and 88, just like judge and gavel, which also have the 25. The word obey has that 47. Words like authority, government, Christian, president, White House, Republican, Democrat, all 47. Again, Christian teaching. You know, Trump, he often has that thing up there to text in, 88 for Trump, 22. And he announced at the end of 22 officially for the upcoming election, 22 chapters in Revelation. We'll get to how the man who's dead today in The Exorcist director, how he died 22 days before his upcoming birthday. But again, 47 is the number of the ultimate authority, which is time. Time is 47, like Vatican. Again, we're on the Vatican's calendar. Today is 211 days after the death anniversary, 211 days after the birthday anniversary of John Carroll. 211 is the 47th prime. The Vatican's birthday is February 11th, the day of the upcoming Super Bowl. Super Bowl 58. Donald Trump, the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential election. Sports rituals continually synced with Trump. The Joker just won in the NBA in a huge Joker tribute, going back to Serbia. And again, we saw that very well could be exactly what they were doing back in March when Trump was in the courtroom where they just filmed the latest Joker scene and how it was correlating with the current NBA season at the time. And the Denver Nuggets won their first championship in 47 years. The first NBA or pro basketball championship does go back to the year 47. Anyway, from E. Jean Carroll's birthday to the news today is exactly 34 weeks later. There's something to say about the 238 days, but I'm going to skip it. But the 34 weeks, beast also 34. Again, just the gematria values, the 4 ciphers. Beast has the 4788. It also has an 11 and a 34 in reverse. So, again, Trump covers a lot of the beast numbers. And then exactly 34 weeks after E. Jean Carroll's. And again, on 8/7, where number of the beast is 87 and overlaps with the judge's name. And I have the 42 up here. I'm trying to remember what the 42 piece is. Again, the beast rules for 42 months. I know that, but there's a 42 in today's story as well. Maybe I forgot to write it down. Or here it is. Today is the 42nd day since Trump filed the countersuit. I spelled filed wrong. I spelled field instead. I'll fix that. But 42nd day since that. The beast rules for 42 months. Again, New Testament 42 and 66 begins with the 42 generations of Jesus. Ends with the 66th book. Math 42 and 66. Again, it begins with Matthew. And then just to bring it full circle, 54 days after Trump's birthday, remember the phrase, mark of the beast, has the 144 and 54 and 81. Jesuit order has the 144 and 54. Biden has the 144 and 81. And Trump has the 81. And notice also the overlap with Jesuit order and Biden and Trump, who are both Jesuit educated. And those 72s, remember, it's all about time and ritual. And again, the sun moves 1 degree every 72 years on the astrological wheel. The word sun equals 54. Talking about a sun cult, a calendar, a language, all synced up for ritualistic, essentially pagan purposes. And again, people got to be careful, though, because it's not like all pagan people are bad. Not all pagan people are doing ritual sacrifice. But these people, it's just like it's not all Jesuits, not all Masons, it's not all members of every secret society. But again, you can see who the ones are who are part of the big spell that's controlling the minds of the masses with stories like this day after day. And again, just the Son of God, male offspring, the Son of God, the pagan belief in the sky, Jesus 34, and beast is not 54. That's an accident. But Son is 54 is what it's supposed to say. Son. Again, Jesus the Son. Could the beast be time and how it's measured by the sun? Because it seems like this is what they're always paying tribute to with the rituals day after day. And then the other thing about this E. Jean Carroll book that came out on July 2nd, 2019, again, just right before the more sincere accusations against Trump, which began the legal process. I want you to see the gematria of the title of this book. I mean, what do we need men for? A modest proposal. That's part of an agenda that's going on in America right now. But then also, and again, it's all legal as well, the courts and everything, right? But look at this. 153, right? Jesuit order. 153, like Holy Bible, like the 153 fish in the miraculous catch. Jesuit order and the title of book 153, and look at Jesuit order in 504. I mean, how much different is that from 54 and sun equaling 54 and everything we've been talking about with 54? And the thing about the way they control the world and have people under mind control is this will make people do more research. This book's probably selling more copies today. So it's like they're making money, controlling your mind with the propaganda, getting you to buy more and more into the stories. You can even read more stories about it. So, but yeah, it's just one agenda overlaying the other. What do we need men for? Donald Trump versus Hillary. Donald Trump with the sexual assault accusations. Bill Clinton with the sexual marriage crimes is a big story. Always controlling people with things that grab attention. Sex, money, death, war, killing. All right, let's come back over to William Friedkin. Dead at 87 on 8/7. Again, The Exorcist set at Georgetown. John Carroll, Georgetown, E. Jean Carroll, stories breaking at the same time. But this film, The Exorcist, turns 50 years old this year. Special number. Relevant number to Washington, D.C. Again, it's in Georgetown. Washington's 50, if you didn't know. America's 50, 50 states. Donald's 50. Satanic's 50. The new Exorcist movie's coming out on 22/9. 229 is the 50th prime number. You see how Satanic's 122 and 50? So is San Francisco. Satanic Church founded in San Francisco in 66 on the 122nd meridian. And again, named after St. Francis of Assisi of San Francisco, who created the Franciscans, which are the precursor to the Jesuits, and Pope Francis is named after St. Francis of Assisi as well, just where some of these other things tie in. But we were talking about how number of the beast is 66 and 87. Dead at 87 on 8/7. The president of Georgetown is 66 years old right now. 66. And Notice the part about French Connection and Jesus Hominum Salvator. 85 and 266. Hold on. I'm going to come back to that point. That's the Jesuit motto. But let's just start right here. If you really wanted to I got to start in the right spot too, really. You see how in the most simple cipher, the Exorcist is 146? The dead at 87 on 8/7, it does stand out with all the number of the beast stuff, but what's even more simple to explain is today, August 7th, I'll show you this, August 7th, leaves 146 days left in the year, right? 146 days left in the year. The director of The Exorcist is dead on the day leaving 146 days left in the year. And we're going to get to actually every single number in The Exorcist. You see the 56 and 61, look at Washington, D.C., and the 151, we're going to talk about it. Trump's next day in court for the E. Jean Carroll saga is on the 15th day of the first month. You might recall in 2020, that's the day they say the first case arrived from China, first confirmed case in the world outside of China on 15/1 to kick off the Big P. You wouldn't have seen it without all the muzzles. But yeah, today leaves 146 days left in the year, so very straightforward. Language, calendar, all synced up, rituals day after day. Now, this guy again did The French Connection and The Exorcist, which is set at Georgetown, the Jesuits, Georgetown. Georgetown's the first Jesuit university. The Jesuits are from France. Pope Francis. Anyhow, Pope Francis is the 266th Pope in the history of the Church. And again, look how French Connection and the Jesuit motto Ius Hominum Salvator overlap. Pope Francis, the French Connection, the Jesuits. The 85. We just had the big Jesuit ritual with Jamie Foxx on 8/5 because they paid tribute to the Jesuits in his latest movie, They Cloned Tyrone. But where did I put it at? I think I put the screenshot in the right spot. Again, The Exorcist also 151. For the record, Jesus Christ equals 146 and 151, and surely if you got demons inside you, you need the opposite of that, which in the Christian telling is Jesus Christ. And notice, The Exorcist, 146, 151. Again, Jesus Christ, 151, 146. The Exorcist, 56, 61. Society of Jesus, 56. Jesus, 61. Like cross. Like church. Like Christian. Like Christmas. Which is interesting because 61 is the 18th prime and sun is 18. And the letters IHS are 18. And the Jesuit logo is the sun with the letters IHS. And again, you got to be 18 to join the military, and the Jesuits are a military order, and your military file is your 201 file, and the first Jesuit pope's the first to live in Suite 201, and you know the rest. But anyway, again, 151 is the 36th prime number, and look at the address in The Exorcist. The possessed house itself stands at 3600 Prospect Street, at 36th Street Northwest. So it's right on the corner, making sense why it's 3600. But 151, the 36th prime, if you add 1 through 36 together, it equals 666, which is the number of the beast. And again, you have this man dead at 87 on 8/7, while the president of Georgetown is 66. And I guess I didn't put the screenshot up because I did it in the other posts. These stories, I was covering them at the same time. But number of the beast, 66, 87. And again, it connects literally with the mathematics of the building number that they use in the film, things that we see all the time. And again, just the word beast, 47, right? 47. The 47s with Trump and the Vatican and the time rituals. Okay, let me see. Yeah, just again, the upcoming film is September 22nd. And what's wild is the upcoming movie, which will be 2 hours and 1 minute long apparently, is coming out in 46 days. Again, Catholic 46. 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament. Entertainment, predictive programming. Let's think. 46 days before the new film, which is titled, what's it called again? The Exorcist Believer. Perfect. 46 days before, and I did have the screenshot of the date distance, didn't I? Here, just for the person who needs it all calculated out for him. Again, today's August 7th, the day of the news, and the movie's coming out September 22nd. So it comes out in 46 days, right? Or if you count the span from today's ritual through the movie, that's a total span of 47 days. And again, Catholic 46, The Exorcist is about Catholic priests, fighting the beast that's in a child. Beast 47. DC 47. And then again, just the whole Roman Catholic piece too, because we talked about today leaving 146 days left in the year. Today's also the 219th day of the year, and Roman Catholics 219. See how it's 132, 219? Again, Antonin Scalia, the first Roman Catholic Supreme Court Justice, dead on 13/2, the 44th day of the year in the time of number 44. Antonin Scalia, 219, his body laid in repose at the Supreme Court on February 19th. 2016, a date with 57 numerology. Supreme Court, for the records, 57. But today is the 219th day of the year, the day the Exorcist director dies. The day they have this ritual with Jean Carroll, Jean Carroll and Trump, who likely is a relative of John Carroll, who founded Jesuit Georgetown, which is Roman Catholic. And you guys see how Roman Catholic's 132 and Catholic Church is also 132. And remember, United States of America is 132. And from the day the Illuminati was founded, May 1st, 1776, to the day this country was named, September 9th, 1776, it spanned 132 days, and there's 132 rooms in the White House. And notice United States of America is also 84, like Jesuit, and like the Jesuit order is 84, and the Catholic Church is 84. It's also 87, like today's date. And if you drop the Catholic Church is also 246. A lot of rituals with that number in the time the U.S. was 246 years old. It just turned 247 on July 4th. We've been documenting the rituals they've been doing with 247 this year. Remember, it started on the Illuminati's 247th birthday with the huge 247 upset in the Philadelphia 76ers over the Celtics in the playoffs on May 1st. Big payout with Philly. Again, the 76ers, the Illuminati founded in 1776, right before the American Revolution. And again, the founder of the Illuminati, Adam Weishaupt, a Jesuit. But now it's 247 years, and what just happened? Well, you just had this death, and clearly Georgetown connection, and you just had this thing for Jean Carroll, and today's 247 days after the death anniversary of John Carroll. Check this out. John Carroll, date of birth. Oh, I forgot a L. Here, I also got, I see what happened. Got sloppy with the typing. Died December 3rd, right? December 3rd. So from his death anniversary to today, August 7th, 247. Eight months and 4 days. Woo, man. Donald Trump on Oprah in 88 talking about presidency. Mar-a-Lago raid on 8/8. Where do we go tomorrow? Where do we go tomorrow on 8/8, the 1 year anniversary? You remember the headline from let me go back to my old website real quick and just let me see if I can pull it up. It was like Halloween or the eve of Halloween. Let me see. I gotta pull this up. Maybe I used the word too many times. Come on. There was this front page article about witchcraft going on with Donald Trump. Why is that not pulling it up? Come on. Wonder if they deleted that post too. I hate how many posts they've deleted because now I don't know what's been deleted and what's not, but this is a different one. There's one where I have the CNN free page, or front page. This one's from the 54th day of the year in 2017. 54th day of the year right here. February 23rd. Witches plan to cast mass spell against Donald Trump. That's not even the one I'm looking for, though. That one didn't even sink into my memory. I don't know why it's not just pulling right up. I'll look it up another time, but anyway, it all fits together. And also another headline, Sandra Bullock's longtime partner dead from ALS battle reportedly. I did a pretty lazy decode on this. Just remember, Sandra Bullock's the star of Murder by Numbers, which came out on April 19th, Ignatius of Loyola Day. That's the day in history he became the first superior general of the Jesuits. And, they reported that he died on August 5th. The news breaks today. Again, Jesuit motto, Isus Hominum Salvator, 85 and 122. And his name, Brian Randall, 122. Again, Isus Hominum Salvator, 85, 122. Brian Randall, 122. And there's some other things that stand out. He died. Oh, that was I don't know if maybe I had caught this in the past and I'd overlooked it, but don't let this slip out of your mind for you guys who decode. August 5th in a non-leap year falls 266 days after Arturo Sosa's birthday. Again, that's the leader of the Jesuits right now. He's the superior general. 8/5 falls 266 days after his birthday. Just to show you this, his birthday is November 12th. And again, he's the superior general. And it's the first time ever the Pope and the superior general are from Latin America. But not only do you have that, again, you have the 266th Pope, the first Jesuit. And Pope Francis equals 122 as well. And the 274 matters because the Roman Catholic Church has celebrated the Son's birthday on 12/25 since 274 AD. And they've celebrated Jesus' birthday on that day since 320 AD, 46 years later. We're Catholics 46, but again, 320. Roman Catholic Church 320. We're going to talk about the latest George Floyd headline in a moment, who was killed outside of a Mercedes-Benz ML320. Or he was pulled out of a Mercedes-Benz ML320 and then killed in front of Police Cruiser 320 in very Catholic Twin Cities. On the corner of 38th Street. And again, on the movie poster for Murder by Numbers with Sandra Bullock, they code the 38. Murder, death, killing, RIP 38. So is Minnesota. He died on his 118th day of his age. Death and homicide 118 in Jewish Gematria. So was it really ALS? There are other things that are simple about this, but you can read my article. And then, I thought about, as soon as I saw this today, it bounced into my mind, oh yeah, remember that thing I talked about in the past with Rihanna and her hit song Umbrella, starring Jay-Z? God, you know what blew my mind? I always bring up the Tupac Machiavelli album. I had to listen to the intro. I was like, I wonder what's on that intro track of Machiavelli, because it's pretty common for hip-hop albums to have like some spoken word intro about the album, some clip from something else that relates to the concept of the album. But what blew my mind, again, that album came out on the Jesuit Day, remember the 5th of November in 96. And that was, shortly after Tupac's death. And again, Tupac shot on September 7th, death 97, murder 79. Been a lot of fateful things in hip-hop history on that day. Mac Miller recently, who has the song The Jesuits. It was Eazy-E's birthday, who died in a big Jesuit ritual 201 days after his own birthday. But what blew my mind about the beginning of the Machiavelli album is some people might have known about who Jay-Z was in 96, like people who are really in the industry, or probably more also in the New York region, which is the birthplace of hip-hop music. But like for a kid out living in the suburbs on the West Coast in 96, they didn't know who Jay-Z was. Jay-Z rode in on Foxy Brown's coattails. And it's like Nas was, for people who follow hip-hop, Nas and Jay-Z got into this rap beef. And the thing was, Nas was super famous before anybody even heard of Jay-Z. So it was like no contest. But at the beginning of the Machiavelli album, Tupac is talking shit about Jay-Z. And also Nas, and pretty much everyone on the East Coast, because that was what they were doing back then with the albums, promoting the East Coast and West Coast. But I couldn't believe that Jay-Z was in the conversation, because he's talking about Biggie, of course, Nas, but then Jay-Z's name's in there, and I thought, wow, because Jay-Z would blow up the next year after Biggie died, by the numbers, in the same type of ritual. But anyway, that jumped into my mind, because again, Jay-Z is on the Rihanna song Umbrella, and Umbrella equals 84, like how she became a billionaire on August 4th, the big Jesuit number, like Anthony Fauci, the Jesuit's been at NIH since 84. Well, he recently retired by the numbers after 38 years on the 38th parallel, doing his part to help decrease the Social Security balloon. I'm sure it was all part of the Pentagon's plan, but anyway. When I saw this picture today, I was like, I got to measure from Rihanna's birthday every time I see Trump with an umbrella. And I found it hilarious. I said, you got to be kidding me. Because from Rihanna's birthday to today's 169 days, right? And the Umbrella Academy's 169. And I have an older post on this. And the older post is about why the Umbrella Academy's release was 169 days after Rihanna's Umbrella song. Again, we talked about how Rihanna was declared a billionaire in the big Jesuit ritual. And again, they control the world of entertainment. Doesn't mean everything in entertainment is Jesuit, but again, they control the megastars, the biggest names, almost without a doubt. So, anyhow, Umbrella released March 29th, 2007, and the Umbrella Academy also came out in 2007 on September 14th, and that was 169 days, right? And the Umbrella Academy is 169. And again, the Umbrella Academy, the umbrella is an understood symbol of the Jesuits. Again, umbrella, again, you guys, look up the day she became a billionaire. It's 8-4. But umbrella, 84, at least so we're told, right? Jesuit, 84. And did you see how umbrella has those other numbers too? 132. We just talked about that with the Catholic Church and the U.S. and the Illuminati. And again, just the same stuff over and over. So, big number here. United States of America, 84 and 132. An umbrella can only be taken down from within, the stem on the inside. That's how you reduce the umbrella, close it up. The Jesuits literally work by infiltration, so they take things down from within. The United States, some of the founders were clearly trying to protect the nation from Catholic rule, which was the government of Europe at the time of its founding. Again, founders worried about the Jesuit suppression ending. I think probably all this stuff might have been written more clearly into our historical documents by many of founders, but all we have is what's left, right? All we know about is pretty much all the same stories because that's what made it into the history books. What about all the stuff that got whitewashed, erased, deleted, scrubbed, no more? I mean, look how it happens now. Look at all the great research in the last 20 years that's been put out online on platforms like YouTube that's just been deleted and it's just gone. Mark Zuckerberg, censoring all over the place, born in 84. But yeah, I have a feeling that every time there's going to be something with Trump and an umbrella, and again, you'll see umbrellas a lot at funerals as well. And we just talked about what's going on with that foreshadowing the other day too with the whole RF. If you didn't watch my Donald Trump birthday video, that's what it was about. All this fateful symbolism, all this stuff that just meant to bring people to, a screaming pitch for the sake of the ongoing divide and conquer and take down the U.S. while everyone's pointing their finger at everyone but who's actually responsible. Like who actually made sure Caitlyn Jenner was a thing your child knew about. Who actually did that? Was it Bruce Jenner? I mean, the media could have easily ignored the Bruce Jenner story. How many great stories do you think the media ignores every day that might inspire people and make a better world? Instead, they want to give you the low vibration drama crap every day that keeps you believing in their BS. But anyway, I just thought, that's so funny that thought popped into my head today, and then I look and I go, oh my God, that's exactly what I wrote about with. So understand, you guys, symbols, rituals, this stuff's going on in front of us every day. It's just we're not expecting to get it. Oh, well, it was a rainy day, and, Trump just wanted to stay dry, standing out for the press. A lot of presidents would have just walked by, they didn't want to be out in the wet under the umbrella. Person might just want to look at it that way because they love the Donald Trump, the Donald. But that person needs to realize you shouldn't be loving these actors on the stage. This is part of a game, and Trump's playing that game, and it's not for our benefit. And remember, George Floyd just died in the Mega 201 ritual. And then his death was synced up perfectly with the ritual that week of the Catholic Church of Minnesota settling for sexual abuse of children, $22.5 million after George Floyd dies on his 225th day of his age, and Derek Chauvin gets 22 and a half years in prison. And then immediately the story has on a guest speaker, one of George Floyd's teachers from when he was a child, that he wanted to grow up and be a Supreme Court justice. And the teacher couldn't forget what a sweet little boy he was, and the teacher's name was Waynel, like anal, Sexton. Waynel Sexton remembers the sweet little boy, George Floyd, as they, pay for all the sexual abuse in Minnesota by the same numerical code that's on the George Floyd Roman Catholic Jesuit slaughter scene to instigate the tearing down of, statues all across the nation, especially Civil War statues, only to tear down the only one in D.C. of Albert Pike 201 days before the Capitol insurrection where the Confederate flag flew. Or Confederates 201, like the Jesuit order, like how, again, earlier today we read from the Lincoln passage in the last video I did on the... Again, for anyone who didn't click on the last video because you don't care about a dead rapper named Ugly God, understand that video is about way more than that. Again, I try to take each news story as an opportunity to teach this code and why these same patterns repeat over and over, whether it's the Ugly God pattern, which is also the same pattern with Kobe Bryant, or what we're talking about today. But yeah, it's amazing. So it's amazing how they get away with it each day. Let's see if they change the front page. Now we got storm clouds coming in over 10 states. Okay. Oh my God, I just realized that the whole time I wasn't showing you the screen that I had up the picture. I'm an idiot. Well, hopefully I was explaining things clearly enough that that the message was still absorbed. I hate when I do that. Apologies. I guess it's more like an audio podcast that way. It's not the end of the world. Guess that way we can see. Is it clear enough explanation to do it just over the radio without even a visual? But yeah, here, let me actually get up the page here. That's CNN's front page right now. Trump with storm clouds and an umbrella. And we're coming up on hurricane season. All right, thank you very much, Daria. I see the generosity from Daria again. She says, can you fix your screen, Zach, please? I'm sorry I did that because Daria wouldn't have felt the need to do a super chat, and I didn't even see it until just now anyway. Apologies. And again, Daria, next time we meet up, at least a couple dinners on me for sure. And Jimmy Neutron, same for you. He had to also do a super chat. I guess, man, maybe this is the new way to raise funds. Your screen isn't sharing, Zach. Wanted to say thanks as always, regardless. Been a minute since I've been able to catch a stream. Well, I wish I would have had the screen shared for you. It would have made things easier to follow along. But yeah, I guess good thing I was super redundant. I will quickly just scroll over screens that I went over. And you can pause anywhere just to get all the visuals for all this information. And of course, they're all on my website anyway, GematriaEffect.news. But yeah, I was being sure to show everything on the screen while nobody could see it. Great job. There's that book title. What do we need men for? Well, seemingly less and less. The old post from June 21st, 2019. President responds to accusation of 90 sexual assault. Oh, by the way, the name of the store, I forgot that. The name of the store that she was sexually assaulted in, the name of that store equals 144. And by the way, the upcoming election, November 5th, 2024, that'll be 144 days after Trump's birthday. Go figure. But yeah, Anthony Fauci thing about 54 years of service on June 26, 26/6, 266. Kobe dead in the big Jesuit ritual 266 days after his wife, 38 weeks after her birthday. The William Friedkin thing. Again, most simple thing to show somebody. The Exorcist 146, today leaving 146 days left in the year. And then you can connect the rest. And if you need help, again, you can, on your phone, you can pull up my post. If you need, if you're trying to share this to a friend and you need an assist, just have it up on your phone and share with them what you want to share. But that 146 thing is probably the easiest to digest. And then Sandra Bullock loses her longtime partner at age 57 which means also in his 58th year of life, on the date that can be written 5/8, we know a big number with the secret societies. Prince had that 57, 58 thing going on when he passed by the numbers. And again, just here the Rihanna thing, from her birthday to today, 169th day of her age, the Umbrella Academy, when the Umbrella Academy came out, it was the same year as her big song Umbrella with Jay-Z. And right here, March 29th release. You know what? That's the 88th day of the year, too. Trump 88. That's when The Apprentice was going on. You know, when Donald Trump was becoming the authority figure through The Apprentice, the honorary degree of Freemasonry, goes on to win the 58th election. Freemasonry 58, like secret society. But yeah. From the release of the show, September 14th, or from her album to the show that came out later that year, perfect, 169 days. Turning something that's real into something that's only known through fiction. And by the way, this George Floyd story that comes today, Officer Tao Thao going to prison for 5 years, today has 38 date numerology. 38 date numerology. George Floyd killed on the corner of 38th Street. 38 coded into Sandra Bullock's movie Murder by Numbers, right on the poster. Minnesota murder, killing, death, RIP, all 38. Anyhow, let me check in with the chat. You guys got anything else for today's headlines or these stories? My eyes are on the chat. Then I got to wrap it up here in a second because, whoa, it's already almost dinner time. Time flew. You think do the Friedkin one over with the visuals on the screen? Here, I'll do the Friedkin part again if somebody wants to cut it. I know he likes to repost my videos, which I appreciate. Again, dead at 87 on 8/7 is William Friedkin. The president of Georgetown is 66 right now. In Gematria, number of the beast equals 66 and 87. And we talked about where that fits in with, again, The Exorcist is at Georgetown. Georgetown founded by John Carroll, the ruling with E. Jean Carroll today, where this all connects. But again, he did the French Connection, which has the same gematria as Jesus Omnium Salvator, the Jesuit motto. The Jesuits created in France. The first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, the 266th Pope. But again, French Connection and Exorcist at Jesuit Georgetown, how it all comes together. Today leaves 146 days left in the year. The Exorcist is 146, the most simple way. In reverse, it's 151, the 36th prime, like how it was filmed, or the building that's possessed is at 3600 Prospect Street, 36th Street Northwest. And again, The Exorcist is 56 and 61 in the same ciphers as Washington, D.C., 146 and 151 like Jesus Christ. Today's the 219th day of the year like Roman Catholic. The movie's about Catholic priests fighting a demon in a child. And, you know, in a way, it's like, I think the movie screen and the screens in general, they put demons in children in a lot of ways, and we don't even think of it as that way. Case in point, I was at the grocery store Saturday morning, and there was a family in there, you know, mother and father, and they had their 3 children. And it was nice to see a family together. And they were standing in front of the donut, you know, the donut section. The fresh donuts ready to go. Or maybe they're not fresh, but in the morning they probably are. And man, those 3 kids were just hopping so fast up and down, just so excited. And, you know, of course, you know why. You used to be a kid. That might have been you. You know, you're just waiting for that burst of sugar and the way it tastes in your mouth and how good it is. It's just the sweetest thing every day. And people have traditions. I remember when I did well, I'd get to go to the donut shop on Fridays, and I loved that as a kid. But again, we get these ideas about sugar and how we need them and how they're good, you know, good for us in terms of reward or like we deserve it. You see the kids at the store who don't get the treat they want, and they have the tantrum and they're screaming out. But the reason we're thinking about these things all the time is really, I mean, you watch kids' cartoons, the advertising is all junk food. Also toys, but lots of junk food. And stuff that's promoted as nutritional breakfast food when really it's just more junk food. I mean, it's far from nutritional, but somehow they can get away with these words on the packaging. Yeah, the government spends a ton of money on, or used to spend a ton of money on steering children away from, drugs, recreational drugs. And again, all things good and bad. There can definitely also be positive drug experiences, but addiction's a real thing, and some drugs are way more dangerous than others. But at the same time, it's like the real crisis right now for America's youth is health. I mean, just obese children everywhere, lack of body movement, already developing all these terrible health problems and behaviors at such a young age. And anyway, The Exorcist, a demon in a child, but how many demons are in children? If you start looking at demons, things as like sugar addiction from a young age, which a lot of kids have, that leads to a lifetime of health problems. And again, sugar is what makes alcohol, and then so many adults addicted there, destroying their life. But yeah, that's a quick redo of that video. I know I was really tying it all in the earlier part of the stream where I didn't have the screen displayed, but yeah, we'll see how the views do on this video since the visual isn't right. See if it makes any difference in the highly censored algorithm. All right, no, I can't do any more right now, you guys, because I got to start dinner. We like to stay on the dinner schedule, and we like to eat many hours before we go to bed. I think that's also a part of health, making sure your last meal is like at least 4 hours before you go to sleep. So for us, we like to be, usually go to bed around 10, so we want to eat by 6. All right, we'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker. Thanks again to everyone who hits the like and the share. And until next time.